You're a teacher and want a better life. Have you considered the UK? It's a perfect destination and the country needs teachers. You just need to know how to immigrate to the UK as a teacher to get the life you deserve. Watch this video till the end to find the answer to all of your questions. Hey everyone, I'm Behna from the Visa Library. You'll get the visa information and the latest news and updates with us. First things first, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell and download the free cheat sheet my team has prepared about moving to the UK as a teacher from the link in the description. It's helpful along the way. Now let's begin. Let me ask you this. Who is qualified to work as a teacher in the UK? Not every teacher can immigrate to the UK. You must meet the conditions. Here are these principles. 1. You must be a qualified teacher. You must be a teacher in your home country to become a teacher in the UK. There are procedures to become a teacher in the UK and you must pass one of them to get the certificate. I'll explain them later. Number 2 is to have work experience. It's mandatory to have work experience and prove it through documents. Teachers must be registered in a school or education center as a teacher and you must have proof of it. Remember that the UK officials won't accept management positions in a school. You must be a classroom teacher. The subject you have taught must be clear and it doesn't matter that it's not in English. Number 3 is having a clean record certificate. You must submit a clean record certificate from your home country or the country where you have lived for the past year. It proves that you are no threat to the people and the country. Clean record certificate is part of the visa supporting documents. Also, you might have to present the certificate during the stages to become a licensed teacher in the UK. Number 4 is getting the QTS to teach in the UK. One of the procedures to become a teacher in the UK is to receive the QTS certificate. Most UK schools require it, even if they can hire foreign teachers without it. But it's not the only way to become a teacher in the UK, and there are other ways. I will get to them soon. Number 5 is being able to apply for an approved UK visa to enter the country. When you get the certificates and meet the eligibility principles, you must apply for a UK visa to enter the country. A skilled worker visa is the most common one you can apply for, but you need a job offer. Other visa options let you enter the UK and work as a teacher, but you must be qualified for it and meet the eligibility principles for the visa. This was the requirements and eligibility principles. Now that you are eligible, where should you start? For the first step, prepare your work experience as a teacher in your home country. Then you gotta know QTS or Qualified Teacher Status. It's a legal requirement for teachers who wanna move to the UK as a teacher. So many schools do not hire teachers without a QTS. Some schools hire teachers without QTS, like academies, free schools, and private schools. Often the law doesn't require you to have a QTS to work in this school. But the schools have this requirement to evaluate candidates for teaching positions, so you would better know QTS and get it to improve your chance of employment. Let me ask you this, are there teachers who are exempt from QTS? You can work in the UK for up to 4 years without the QTS if you're among the qualified teachers. It is true even the school requires QTS to hire you. If you're eligible to work without the QTS, you can use the 4-year rule. You must have these items to be eligible for the 4-year rule. 1. Eligible as a teacher outside the UK. 2. Completing a course of teacher training. It must be recognized by the responsible organization that authorizes teachers in the country. Remember one point, the 4-year rule doesn't apply in these situations. Pupil referral units, alternative provisions academies. You need the QTS for the 2 items I mentioned at the beginning of your work. Now that you know QTS, how should you apply for it? There are 3 ways you can apply for QTS, but the application process depends on whether you have teaching experience and the location where you got your teaching experience. Here are the 3 ways. The first one is the Teaching Regulation Agency, TRA. This route is for teachers who have a teaching certificate from one of these countries, the EEA members, Gibraltar, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Switzerland, and the US. The other requirement is that you have evidence or proof that you are a qualified teacher in one of these countries. The evidence must show your status as a teacher. You must be allowed to teach by the related organizations or authorities in the country you have worked. You can visit the UK Visa and Immigration website to see if you are eligible for TRA and apply for it. The link is in the description. You must answer a few questions to know if you are qualified or not. The second way to get QTS is to pass the assessment to prove you meet the standards for QTS. If you pass the QTS assessment, you won't need to pass training courses in the UK to work as a teacher. You must apply to a UK government-approved teacher training provider in the UK to get assessed and receive your QTS. The good point is that you don't have to visit the UK to get assessed. Also, if you can work in the UK through the 4-year rule, you can apply to get assessed for the QTS. Your school or employer can cover and help you with this procedure. To get the assessment, you must have these items. 1. At least 2 years of work experience. 2. An educational degree from the UK or a non-UK university. 3. Get a standard equivalent of a grade 4 in GCSE English language and mathematics. To teach 3 to 11 aged children, a standard equivalent to grade 4 in GCSE science subject is needed. Biology, chemistry, or physics are some samples. Are you wondering what is GCSE? It is an academic qualification granted for examinations in the UK. If you have received your education and degree from a non-UK university, you might have to get a statement of comparability. It shows that your degree is equivalent to a UK degree. You must have teaching experience to be eligible for this way of moving to the UK as a teacher. The teaching experience must meet the eligibility conditions. 1. It must hold teaching experience and not other responsibilities in schools. 2. Must have been in 2 schools. 3. Must have taught people of different ages. 4. You must be familiar with different procedures in teaching, learning, and school management. A big question, where do you have to get teaching experience? It can be in any of these schools, international schools, teaching in the international students, state-maintained school, and other ones. What if you have taught a non-English course? It's fine, you're still eligible if you meet the other conditions, but you must provide English language fluency to get accepted. How should you apply for QTS? You must apply to one of the UK government-approved assessments-only teacher training providers. You don't have to visit the UK to pass the test or get the training. The cost of assessment ranges from £1,500 to £4,000. It depends on the provider, but you have to pay a higher fee if you are outside the UK. An individual will visit you while teaching in class and assess your performance and work. You can find a list of teacher training providers offering assessments-only QTS to international teachers outside the UK from the link in the description. When you find the assessment provider, you must contact them to make the arrangements. Determine these items with them, whether they accept international applications for assessments-only QTS, if they can visit you in your home country to assess your teaching, if your language is not English, do they have a person to assess you, whether they approve your eligibility for assessment, if there are other requirements for assessment or not. Remember an essential point, you must be healthy and meet the physical conditions to teach in the UK. The assessment provider will check your background and the behavior to ensure you are eligible to teach in the UK. When you meet the standards and pass the assessment, you will receive the QTS and can apply for job positions in the UK. But what if you fail the assessment? In this case, you can apply again after you have become familiar with the procedure and gained experience or skills. The third way to get the QTS is to pass a teacher training course in the UK. Every non-UK citizen can apply to get training to teach in the UK. You must check your eligibility to pass a teacher training course in the UK. Here they are. 1. Having a bachelor's degree. It can be from a university outside the UK. If you don't have a degree, you can apply to study a 3 to a 4-year and undergraduate course in England. 2. Having an English language qualification, the same standard as a grade 4 GCSE General Certificate of Secondary Education. IELTS, TOEFL, and C2 are the standard approved tests. If you haven't passed an English language test or do not have qualification in math or science, which are the same standard as grade 4 GCSE, some teacher training providers will let you seats in these subjects. If you haven't passed an English language test or do not have qualifications in math or science, which are the same standard as grade 4 GCSE, some teachers training providers will let you sit seats in these subjects. You would better contact them to ask about their policy before you apply. 3. Having a math qualification, the same standard as a grade 4 GCSE. Number 4. Having the health and physical capacity to train or teach. Number 5, you must pass the safeguard and criminal record checks carried out by your training provider or employer. Number 6, if you're going to teach children aged 3 to 11 in primary school, a physics, chemistry, or biology qualification is needed. It must be the same standard as a grade 4 JCSE. I must remind you that JCSE is an academic qualification awarded for exams in England. It's usually taken at the age of 16. When you apply for teacher training, some teacher training providers will want you to see a statement of comparability. You must get it from the UK European Network of Information Centres. It proves that your school and university qualifications are the same standard as UK. You can find the link in the description. You might be wondering, how much does the training cost in the UK? International candidates can expect to pay between £12,000 and £22,000. There are also the living costs and your immigration procedures. Your training lasts 1 academic year full-time or longer part-time. You can apply for paid teaching jobs as soon as you complete your training. You can find approved English teacher training providers from the link in the description. When you have chosen your course, you can apply for teacher training. The link again is in the description. If you don't have an immigration status that lets you train or teach in the UK, you'll need to apply for a UK student visa. You can find out more about it in the Visa Library article. The link is in the description again. You can apply for your student visa once you have a confirmed offer of a training course from a training provider who can sponsor a student visa. If you have a place on a salaried training course, you will need a skilled worker visa to enter the UK. The UK Visa and Immigration website has a tool to know whether you need a visa or not. I have put the link in the description again. When you complete your training and have qualified teacher status, you can apply for paid teaching positions in all schools in the UK. To find a teaching job, you must apply to schools. The website to find teaching vacancies is in the description. You can find a teaching position on other websites as well. There is a list of them in the Visa Library article about moving to the UK as a teacher. The choice is yours. After getting the job offer, you must apply for a skilled worker visa or extend it. It depends on your immigration status. There are other UK visa options to become a teacher in the country as well. They are not designed for teachers or are not work visa, but if you're eligible for them, you can move to the UK and work as a teacher in the country. Each one of these visas is different and has eligibility principles. The first one is High Potential Individual Visa. Not everyone can apply for it, and you must be eligible. 1. You must have a bachelor, master, or PhD from a university listed in the top global university list. 2. Have received your certificate not older than 5 years ago at the time of application. 3. B1 language proficiency certificate. 4. Have enough funds for at least £1,270. 5. Pass a security and criminal check background. There is no need for a job offer and you can stay in the UK for up to 2 years to look for a job. The next visa option is the Youth Mobility Scheme visa. This is a visa program that lets young people from a few countries to visit the UK and study and work without having a sponsor or job offer. You could also work as a teacher without arranging employment from a school. The Youth Mobility Scheme visa allows you to work in the UK for up to 2 years and change your visa to another time. A skilled worker visa is the one that you can switch to if you are eligible. You won't need to leave the UK and can apply from inside the country. The next visa option to end up working as a teacher in the UK is through student visa. If you're in the UK under a Tier 4 student visa, you can apply for a graduate visa after completing your education and receiving your certificate. The graduate visa permits you to work in the UK for 2 years or look for a job. You don't have to have a sponsor in the period. After that, you can apply for a skilled worker visa and stay in the country as long as your employment contract is valid. You can extend it as long as you have an employment contract with the UK employer. You could also directly apply for a skilled worker visa if you get a job offer after graduation. A family visa, a UK ancestry visa, a British national overseas visa. These are the other UK visa that lets you enter the country and work in any field you are qualified and as a teacher, but you must be qualified to apply for them. Find out more information about them in the Visa Library article. Alright then. This was all you must know to immigrate to the UK as a teacher. If you have questions, write them down in the comments section. The Visa Library team will answer them. Before you leave, like this video, hit the bell and download the free PDF files my team has prepared about moving to the UK as a teacher. You should follow us on Instagram and Facebook to get the latest visa news and updates. Until the next video, thank you all for watching.